All right, so we're gonna do kind of a movement drill here. Um, Duke Paul does this drill from way back. I did something like it as well when I heard it him. He talks about this force between us. Duke Rongalder does this. He literally thinks of the stick or 2x4 between you, and you want to keep this perfect room. So if I lean forward, Louis is going to lean back. If I travel forward and step, Louis is going to roll with it. And you can see there's always this same space. So what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through this drill. This drill is just fundamentally about trying to keep that connection with your opponent so that you're in perfect form with them. It's very much like dancing. In dancing, you have a little more contact that you can actually juggle form, but you're not pushing your opponent around in dancing. So if the idea is I turn and I don't push them to get there. What I do is we keep a good connection, and when I turn, they turn, and that's the idea that we have in same thing in fighting. So this space gives you your range. So if Louis moves and I don't move, now all of a sudden he has an angle on me that he can take advantage of. If I move the wrong way or way too late, so Louis moves into that same direction, and then I'm here to turn to him, then he has a different direction. Now he's controlling the direction, and he has essentially time between, or he owns the beat there, so he can take advantage of those things. So this time Louis is going to move, and I would do the same thing. Go ahead. So now I'm in the same beat as Louis. So this way, a little behind there that time. There we go. So the idea here is to stay in that space so that you're always in that same time as close as you can. That way you can throw, you're ready to throw. I am not turned. Again, if I stay too behind and Louis makes a turn, and I even just turned. This is a fundamental move that is in movement. So Louis stands back in front of me. He goes around, I turn. But that's a half beat behind. All right, so Louis turns again, or he goes this way this time, and I turn. I'm still waiting for him to do something. In that space, you're losing time. So this time he has control. So Louis is going to give me a double. He's going to make me turn, and then he's going to go back. So in a fast motion, this is how this is going to look. And now I'm stuck because he's ahead and he's taking advantage of the backside. So this exercise is meant to create that connection and learn to control that connection. And it's very difficult, so especially at the beginning, you want to do this very slow and controlled. Your person that's going to be in charge of running it at any given time is responsible for the person that they're practicing with, so don't run them into things. They won't see behind them. They got a really good connection, and then if connection breaks down, just take a step out and say, okay, let's do this again. It's okay if it breaks down. We all make mistakes. Just like dance, it's a thing you practice. As you get better and better, and when I say better and better, this could be weeks, then you can start creating more of a pace. You can speed up the pace. But this isn't meant to go full speed until we're into a fight where, we've been fighting long enough that if Louis slides somewhere, we're staying in a much quicker pace, but this is because been doing it for a very long time. So at the beginning, this pace is literally going to look like this, and this doesn't look like we're doing anything. Sometimes they even tell them to step forward. That way you can clearly communicate. You're going to step back, step forward, step forward. I'm going to go this way. There we go. I'm going to go that way. Okay, I'm going to lean. There we go. Good. Lean. Good. And then we're steadied. And he's just making tiny little shifts here with me right now. You can see this. Go back. You notice he didn't take another step. He kept his balance. Because if you if you think outside of what your opponent's going to do, what happens is if you're thinking ahead of them, you may take another step. And this is what happens. Louis is going to lead for a second. Go ahead and take your step. And then I'm like, see, I thought he was taking a step, so I stepped already. So now I lost distance. I also lost that connection. So now I have to reapply it so that we can start over again. So this is the reason why we do it real slow and we talk about it, dream. At the beginning, that makes it a much easier exercise to do. If all of a sudden he's running me into say something, then you know to either, hey, let's go backwards, you're going to run into something, or, okay, let's reset. Okay, let's reset, and we just move it back a couple of feet, and then we're like, okay, ready? We make that connection. Remember, we got a stick between us. Here we go. There we go. We go that way. Yeah. Good. And I'm losing my balance. He did a better job at that than I did. Good. Very nice. You notice he didn't even move that foot until I took my foot almost off the ground. Now we can create, yeah, see now I'm creating different heights. This is a 3D balancing tool. Here we go. There we are. Good. So the idea is we can talk about that through there, and really you're trying to, the biggest piece is to make that connection. Because now when we get into a fight, it's going to look a lot more like this at the end of the day. We're going to, through this, after a couple practices, we're going to make this a little faster. Me and Louis make it a little faster. We're going to make mistakes. It's okay. Now that's a little faster. Now I'm going to go ahead. This is what a fight would look like. When after practicing all of this, we're actually going to use it in a fight. I go, and it doesn't matter who your opponent is. We're going to watch, and we're going to fight who controls this space sometimes. You got it. And then if Louis moves, I'm gonna move with him. See, so now we're. You got it. You got it. So in a fight, we got to change that. The pace is going to get faster, but you have that understanding, and that's what makes those fights a lot more difficult for your opponent, because you're always either ahead of them or at least with them, and you can throw in that space. So again, make this a nice slow start. Talk. Do this exercise every time because it really does build good connection, and that's the connection piece is something we're going to talk about later. There's lots of ways that you can use connection to find out what your opponent's going to do, see tension in their body, see their facial expressions, get that emotion, and you use that for blocking and defense. And then sometimes you can even cut that connection. So we're in here, and Louis is going to keep nice and connected. Exactly. So he's going to keep, here we go. Right. So now I can cut this connection. And you can see what happens when that connection is broke. It's actually a real, you're trying to find something to key on. So you have to be careful in those spaces, but that's a technique you can use in fighting as well. All right, so hopefully that guys helps you on that little drill. We're gonna put some other stuff together for you. As you find there's stuff that you need, we love cutting little small sections because I send those out to other people too when they need these same drills. And we'll keep doing them. I love doing them. Louis and I have been great at helping us, so let's keep it going. All right.